we've covered, if we got this correct in order, we've covered 2D animated films. And now we thought, well, how about 3D animated films? What are our top 3D animated films
like
of all
computer
time? Like our most enjoyable, not necessarily the most popular or anything. What we enjoyed in particular.
Because it's really not fair putting the two categories together. 2D
No.
versus CGI. No.
Yeah. So let's start off with Mark. Mark, what's your first?
First, I'm going to say Toy Story. That's... you can't really think about 3D animated films without thinking about Toy Story. It's sort of the
first
the grandfather of everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, you got the ensemble cast of voiceover characters. It's fantastic. The story is good. I like, if I was to rank it, I would say it's probably close to number one in my books.
I wouldn't know if I'd say it's still number one, but I know, yeah, it's on my list, obviously. Toy Story, you'd have to include it.
No, you don't.
It was a game changer.
Yeah, it was a game changer. But if we're going favorites, it doesn't make much.
No, Paul's going to say Cars.
Cars is on my list.
Well, tell us, what's on your list?
Cars was a lot after Toy Story. This was in 2006, and it was Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy. And...
now, not Cars 2.
No. Cars 2 was a disaster.
When there were spies.
I'm not
you
talking
didn't like
about,
that one? Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about the franchise. I'm talking about the original Cars movie.
Okay.
And it focuses on a guy who's all about sponsorship, and he's for the glory in himself. And he does this arc where he meets people in a small town. Sorry, he meets cars in a small town, and they teach him to stop and smell the roses and appreciate teamwork. Okay, great. But just a world. There's no people. There's no arms and fingers. But they somehow create a world inhabited by only vehicles. And that was great. Like, just think about it. What are they doing? They can't even pump their own gas.
But they did, because he runs out of fuel.
And Owen Wilson is just so likable as a character, and labeled a Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Before he became overexposed, was just so funny. I thought there was a lot of heart in this movie. I think it's completely underrated. A lot of people are trashing it, and I don't know if they're trashing it because of Cars 2, but Cars is always being bashed. And I loved this movie.
I have Cars on my list.
Oh, okay, I'm surprised.
It's actually not on mine.
No, you put Toy Story.
Well, I have Toy Story too. But I have Cars. So Cars on my list, Toy Story's on my list. So what do you have instead of Cars?
Instead of Cars, I've got Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first Shrek. Funny. And it's the sort of oddball, like they're trying to sell or buy fairy tale creatures and stuff like that in the forest. We get like, this is a hilarious take on the fairy tale genre.
And it was originally meant for Chris Farley, but he passed away.
It was, yeah.
Mike Myers did such an amazing job.
Killed it, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he was the guy back then.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's not on my list, but it is definitely epic.
But
If only Eddie Murphy was funny. As Donkey.
Yeah.
Referencing to the last movie video we did, and the video before that.
And the video before. Yeah.
Okay, so
Insert Mark's comment here.
so far, 2 of yours are gone.
2 of mine are already gone, yeah. So I guess I should say a third one then. Okay. Speaking of Despicable Me, I did enjoy the first Despicable Me.
Okay.
Not the next one so much. I didn't mind 3 so much. And I enjoyed 4. We just saw 4. And I had a good time in it. I wouldn't say it's at the top of my list, but I had a good time. But 1, I really liked the idea of the villain and him doing, like, popping the kids' balloons and, you know, freezing everybody in the coffee. Like, all that kind of stuff, and the bank, World Bank for villains, etc. I enjoyed that. Breaking into I forget the villain's name at the time in the first one.
Can't recall.
The guy in the little jumpsuit there. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. But trying to break into his compound, and the fact that he had the pyramid in the background, but it was just painted like a sky. So, and that was his whole disguise of the pyramid. Like, it was just funny.
It was goofy.
I really enjoyed it. And they were going to steal the moon of all things.
And obviously the minions were so creative at the time.
At the time.
That, yeah, it was bonkers funny.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
a great twist.
What do you got?
Same year, I have Megamind.
Yes, good one.
So, Universal and Paramount. Will Ferrell, Jonah Smith. Yeah, I should wear these. Ben Stiller, Brad Pitt, Tina Fey. I thought it was emotional and zany at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't... Despicable Me was completely, like, kids funny action. Where this one had a lot of heart to it. And it's, like, he's an alien-looking guy. The kids treat him differently because he just is different. And society shapes him to become an evil villain.
Yeah.
But
At the same time, you've got the superhero, which was also an alien, and came down and was treated a different way because he looked a different way.
yeah, and he redeems himself through his love for another person, and it unfolds from there. But Will Ferrell, amazing job in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The best part of the movie is when he finally succeeds, supposedly, in killing the hero and taking over the city, he doesn't know what to do. He's not ready for it. So I'm gonna get back to you and be careful. And he doesn't know what to
Didn't
do.
think I'd get this far.
Now, for animation, I think it was completely overshadowed by Despicable Me, because animation is for kids. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And Despicable Me was for kids. This one is kind of for adults.
Yeah, it's for both. But adults especially got a humor. I have it on my list. Megamind's on my list.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
So-
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're pretty comparable on this one compared to 2D.
Yeah.
All right, what's your last one there, Mark?
Okay, I've got How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought about it.
Why though?
I don't know.
Just because the dragon was cute.
Well, no. Well, it's the whole bonding thing with the creature that you can't really communicate properly with, and learning the whole social aspect and becoming one. And then at the end of the movie, where Buddy also becomes disabled, like the kid, and him and the dragon working together to become one functioning full force, really. So yeah, I like that.
My next one is probably one you're going to have on your list too.
Try me.
Wall-E.
Yes.
You're so predictable.
Yeah, Wall-E, like a whole story based around somebody who's not talking. At like the first hour of the movie.
Like
There's
A Quiet
no
Place.
talking at all.
But-
Mark's favorite franchise.
But although they're saying like the one word they can say, you're hanging on the way they say it. Every single time they speak, you're feeling the emotion that they feel.
Yeah, it's happy, it's sad, it's scared.
You liked this movie way more than I did.
The whole thought of the robot surviving on its own, the last one there, and it finally meets a new, somebody.
These are robots.
Plus the humans.
These are robots, and they are more human than robots. Like you
They're
even,
more human than robots?
Yes, like the level of
No,
humanity.
you mean they're more human than humans.
well,
You said, these
both.
are robots that are more human than robots.
Both. They're both. You even love the cockroach.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little guy that sweeps the floor in the spaceship. Like, you love everybody. The gang of misfit robots that join him halfway through.
Yeah.
Like, everything is epic about this show.
Okay. I never got into it. Okay, so I liked the first half of that movie, and then I didn't like the second half of the movie.
Well, I like the second half mostly because,
All the fat people in the ship,
yeah, it's commenting on modern society.
yeah,
Yeah, you should
but
relate.
that's why I didn't like it.
Upstairs, Mark is telling us, yeah, I haven't started my diet yet, as he's going through TikTok.
Yeah.
So,
He's going to start his diet when he stops eating.
Wally nailed it.
That's what I told him. I said, well, I'm up 10 pounds. I said, but I'll lose that easily when I'm finished eating.
Which is never.
Okay, I'm going to.
I think you had a cookie in your mouth when you told us that.
He was TikToking cookies. The Lego Movie.
Yeah.
I got.
That is not on my list, but it should be.
Yes,
No,
it
which
should
one?
be.
Lego or Lego Batman?
Well, Lego
Lego.
Batman was really good, but the one that blew me away was the Lego
Okay.
Movie. Warner Brothers, 2014, Chris Pratt, Will Ferrell, and it's just constant fun. Not a laugh a minute, laugh a second. Everything is awesome song.
Love it.
This is for kids and
And for me.
and for me, and all adults will love this.
Yeah, I agree. If you've not seen the Lego Movie, and I had not seen the Lego after it came out, that was years that had gone by. I feel like that I had not seen it, and then finally I just sat down with my kids and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll give it a try." They want to see. I laughed. It was one of the best things I've ever seen, and it should be on my list.
Morgan Freeman is the wise guy, wise man.
Yeah.
And like going into it, I'm thinking, oh my god, can they get any more blatant with the sponsorship themed movies? Lego, come on.
Yeah,
And then it was perfect.
best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put it on my list. I've done my list, but it was definitely one of the ones I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, I got two more.
Cool.
I got one more and a bonus.
Oh, we got a bonus.
Yeah. This next one is a cheat. So. Alita.
okay.
So James Cameron, 2019.
Yeah.
And the reason it's a cheat is because it's a live action movie, but it has CGI animation inside
Yeah,
it.
which we
And it-
could have added a billion different movies to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Ready Player One, I would have put on there, like in that sort of genre.
Yeah. But Alita, the CGI that was added was flawless. It was seamlessly integrated into the movie. And you have this robot girl that you have a strong attachment to. Like, they did a really good job with this. And the action scenes inside this were epic. The story was a bit paint by numbers.
But it was a great movie.
But this should have had a sequel the next day.
The next day. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I can't believe they've not.
No, Disney screwed it up either for personal vendetta against James Cameron or because they're going through the whole Fox deal at the time.
Yeah.
But what a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good news is they can still do it because it is CGI. So they can still make one
Yeah.
and still do a sequel. Like, they're not going to be like Axel F and be like 40 years later.
But the problem is that once some time has elapsed, the fire
The
that people
interest.
felt
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last one is very underrated. Extremely underrated. People just call it garbage all the time. And that was Titan AE. Do you remember
I've
that?
not seen
Oh,
it.
I do.
I remember the title, but I don't think I've seen it.
20th Century Studios, year 2000, Matt Damon, Drew Barrymore. And the reason I think it was so underrated is because back then people thought it was just another cartoon for kids, but it was actually geared towards adults. And so adults just ignored it, and kids didn't enjoy it because it wasn't for them. But it was a really good movie, and it was one of the first to kind of do 2D animation for the characters, but the setting itself was CGI.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen Titan AE, I think you would enjoy
I
it.
was indifferent to the movie.
Oh, I thought it was
Was it?
really
Yeah.
good.
I could have took it or left it.
But you like the Goofy movie?
I did. I love the Goofy movie.
Okay. Oh, fantastic.
Reference to the last video once
yeah,
again.
yeah.
All right, so that's it. Are we missing any that you think are 3D animation classics? Best fun animated movies you've missed? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, later.